What's going on, y'all? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Saturday morning, and I intend on doing the exact same thing. What's going on, you guys? All right. Now, before we get into anything, I'm gonna let you guys know that later on in the afternoon, I'll be doing a Beyond the Gates panel with JB Says What, as well as Really Be TV. We're gonna come together around, I think it's like 1:30 or 2 o'clock for the Beyond the Gates panel. So be on the lookout for that. That's pretty much all that I got to remind you of. So we're going to pretty much go ahead and get into some things. Now, this particular video just comes from something that I was just laying in my bed just a minute ago, and I was just looking at YouTube videos because that's normally what I do when I'm laying in my bed, really. And I'm off this weekend and all this. So I was just laying in my bed looking at, YouTube videos. And this particular video came across my suggested videos. And there was a video in regards to Shamea and Porsha. And it's from one of the Bravo after shows back in 2017 during season 10 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. This was during the time, during season 9 is when Shamea and Portia's relationship pretty much fell apart because of the Phaedra stuff. And we kind of got to see them, try to put the pieces back together during season 10. So during this after show, they were talking about the specific trip that they took to Houston to help all of the hurricane victims from Hurricane Harvey. Portia Shamea had not spoken, and Shamea showed up because she wanted to help the victims, but she also wanted to make amends with Portia. But then, in the midst of the conversation, Shamea got very emotional when talking about the relationship with Portia and how everything pretty much fell apart between them. But when you hear Portia's commentary, it's a little different than what Shamea says, and it goes to show you that the narrative that is out there is probably true. Let's listen to the conversation at hand, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Let's take a listen.
God. This is beautiful.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really excited that Shamea showed up, but it is awkward.
I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I had to come
Good
help
to
out,
see
do my share, do my part.
Thank you. Yes.
Giving back.
I didn't immediately think to myself, oh, we're going to talk about our issues and solve any of that. I wasn't thinking about that. I was more thinking of, all right, this is a friend and she's coming here to help my efforts in helping the people here in Houston. And I thought that was great. So I really was concentrating on that. I really wasn't focusing on the friendship at all.
I definitely wanted to go to Houston to help the people, but I can't lie and say that a small part of me wanted to rekindle my friendship, or at least understand. Almost like you need closure. I just always thought of her to be like that extra sister. Like, we met through our moms. We took family trips together. When she was going through her divorce from Cordell, she slept on my couch, hell, in my bed. Then the rumors started, and she didn't help dispel them.
You know I ain't Candy. You what? Yeah, they are. Yeah, Candy best friend.
Wait, Candy is you. You a motherfucking lie. But you think that too?
I mean, she close to both of them.
I got engaged, and she wasn't supportive. And then I got married, and she wasn't there. And I just kept thinking, everything you've done, I've supported. Everything you do in the future, I will support. Because my love for you does not waver. It's unconditional. What's wrong? I still don't know.
The friendship didn't necessarily break down. Like, I didn't say I don't count her as a friend. Our communication was just not, our communication was off. It just was off. Like, what do you say? If I'm feeling some type of way and you're feeling some type of way and, we're not meeting in the middle, then we really don't have anything to say. So it was like a common ground for us just to, hey, deal with what we're doing, the efforts here in Houston. And that was really nice.
So that was the after show during season 10 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta with Shamea and Porsha talking about the breakdown of their friendship. And Like I said, y'all, listen, I feel like I have to constantly say this because I really don't want nobody to think this. But however, I'm not here being a Porsha basher. I know that I have been in the past, but I promise you that is not what I'm on. All I'm doing is talking about the show. That's it. I'm talking about the show. I'm talking about everything dealing with the show, mainly to keep myself in a in a Bravo algorithm, of course. But I'm talking about the show, so I'm talking about all things dealing with the show. So I'm not trying to sit here and create no narratives about Porsha or nothing like that because it never gets that deep. However, I thought this was interesting because I don't remember ever seeing this before, and it just so happened to pop up on my thing, and it just goes back to what we most of us have been saying. Shamea was more of a friend to Porsha than Porsha was a friend to Shamea. Shamea was very much so emotional about the fallout of this relationship, but Porsha didn't feel any kind of way about it. And that is just the characteristics of a one-sided friendship. Now, as y'all know, I sit on here and I talk about all my friendships all the time. I talk about them all the time. Where I've kind of, pulled back on discussing them. But I talk about my friend. I've talked about my friendships in past videos and things like that. And I honestly can say that when it come down to friendships, I really don't like a one-sided relationship. And I've had my share of one-sided relationships, one-sided friendships. I've had my share of those. I've honestly had my share. And when it all boils down, when you find yourself being the only one that's making an effort in this relationship or this friendship, and you're the only one that seems to care about the fallout or the way that you can make it right, then it looks like you don't need to be focused on that any longer. And I feel like when it comes down to Shamia and Porsha, a lot of this relationship and a lot of the reasons why the relationship is still going is because of the history factor of it all. And I think that sometimes when we're in friendships with people, we tend to stay around longer than we're supposed to stay around because of the history of the relationship, when history really doesn't mean anything anymore. Because if it was all about the history, then people wouldn't be doing shit that they're doing. Sometimes we have to realize that certain friendships have to come to a damn end sometimes. And that's just the facts of the matter. Friendship breakups are very hard. Sometimes we find ourselves staying in these friendships that really don't serve us anymore because, like I said, because of history and we really love them. But are they really supposed to be in our life at this point in our lives? Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes we see the signs of the friendship kind of falling apart, not necessarily falling apart, but you're going a different direction. This person is going in a different direction. And sometimes it's hard to accept the fact that we're going into different directions and we may not need to be in each other's lives like that. That doesn't necessarily mean that we need to fall out and just be airing each other out and just, beef with one another. That doesn't mean that. Sometimes friendships serve their purpose. Some friendships are meant to be forever, and some friendships are only meant to be a season and a reason, and that's just the truth. Like I had to learn that very lesson with one of my friendships in the past. It was not too long ago, but after everything happened and after I kind of like apologized for whatever part I played in the situation and whatever I did to contribute to us not being where we used to be or whatever. After I did that, that was my way of making closure with the situation and just saying, I don't have a problem with this person. I still love this person tremendously, but we probably don't need to be friends anymore. And and I don't have any qualms about that. Sometimes you just don't need to be friends with certain people anymore because you're here, I'm here, you're going on Lee Street, I'm going on Peach Street. If I see you walking down the sidewalks, then hey girl, hey, how you doing? And we can go about our separate ways. Every friendship breakup does not have to be negative. It just doesn't. And I feel like Shamia and Porsha are at an impasse, and I think they've been at an impasse for a mighty long time, but they don't want to let each other go because of the history. It is sad to see childhood friends fall apart, and people that been friends since they were yay high fall apart and not really be friends no more. That is very sad to see. I don't really like to see breakup of friendships. I say that all the time. I really hate to see friends fall apart. Like, I hate seeing it because friendship breakups are very, very hard. Like, they are harder than breaking up with your man. Like, it's harder than that. In this case, I just feel like Portia has always shown her cards when it came down to Shamea. Like, I think the moment that I saw her sit there at their table and allow Phaedra to perpetuate lies about her, that was like, ain't no way I could ever get past that. And it was on TV for people to see. And you help Phaedra perpetuate that lie about me. There's no way that it could have ever went down for me like that. Absolutely not. So I don't know, you guys. I know that there's a lot of conversation about this friendship with Portia and Shamea. Portia has already pretty much let it be known that her and Shamea are not on the same page right now, and I think Shamea has pretty much revealed that shit as well. So that's why a lot of people are talking about it right now. Like, they're talking about it because we can see that they're not in the best of places right now. And like I said, people want to get mad because we're covering it and we're talking about it, but we already knew that that's what it was. Like, we saw that from the moment we saw the trailer. But I want to know what y'all got to say about this. Like I said, the audio that I played, it's literally from 2017. So that was 8 years ago. So I want to know what y'all got to say about that. And of course, I'll be back for more. With that being said, you guys, I am up out of here. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok will be down below. And I'm out of here, y'all. Till next time, bye.